Look in verse 11. For though by this time, we read, and here it's as if he's saying, look, I'm looking at your spiritual condition chart. You should be here, but you are way back here. By this time, what? You ought to be teachers. Here I don't believe this is a reference to a teaching office in the church. It's simply referring to the ability to teach others in the doctrines of the faith. By now, you should be able to teach younger converts the essential elements of the faith, but you can't. Instead, as we read on, you need someone to teach you again the basic principles of the oracles of God. Notice the word again. It's actually very significant. They had heard the basics, but they were in need of hearing them again. You ever heard the phrase, use it or lose it? That's what's going on here. Some had lost it because of a lack of use. I remember quite some time back, we had a couple of Germans visiting the church, and I made a big mistake. I told them that I'd learned German in high school. Here, if you're in Arizona, you're more likely to learn as a second language Spanish. Growing up in England, the nearest country was France, maybe Belgium, but you either were going to learn French or German, and so for a few years I learned French. Then at high school, I learned German for 5 years. And I made the mistake. I told them I had been at high school and had learned German. They said, oh, tell us some German. We'd love to hear German. We have not heard German for 2 weeks. And I thought, well, all I can remember are kind of useless phrases. And they just heard me preach. This was now after the service, and they thought I was going to say something profound. Not a chance. And so I rattled off something that came to mind. Ich kann nicht ins Kino gehen. Ich bin nur 13 Jahre alt. Now, you might be impressed by that, but the Germans, not a bit. In fact, they started laughing. Then they started belly laughing. Then they started holding themselves up and said the word Dummkopf, which means stupid. I knew it wasn't going well. What I actually said to them in German was, and here's the only phrase I could think of, I cannot go to the movie house. I'm only 13 years old. Now, it's true at the time when I was learning German at age 13, it makes sense. But now, decades later, it's a useless phrase. Imagine being in Munich, Germany, and all you can say to people is, I cannot go to the movie house. I'm 13 years old. So, what's the point? Well, I had 5 years of German, but I lost it. I lost just about all of it through lack of use. I hadn't heard or spoken any German for around 2 decades. And I lost it because I didn't use it. So here's the principle we must grasp. Truth not only must be heard, it must be made a part of us and maintained, or else the knowledge we have can be lost.